Well, I'm funny how? I mean, funny like I'm a clown, I amuse you.
You have part of my attention. You have the minimum amount.
I'm the guy who does his job. You must be the other guy.
You got a lot of problems, don't you?
Oh, it's good to be back.
Eat shit. Eat shit. Eat shit.
Smug smile.
Definitely eat shit.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore.
You can't handle the truth.
We're back. Surprisingly. We might not actually be back. We could have been canceled last week. I have no idea. These just could be in a room, and I could have been kicked from the channel for somebody being thrown downstairs. We're going through 79, right? No, where are we? I don't even know.
80 through 71.
80 through 71. Math is hard when it's tens. I don't know. This should be an interesting episode. The same crew is here. The same crew will be here the rest of the way, unless I kick one of them out. That would be pretty interesting. Barr, your list is interesting. It's growing. It's growing in you being a hack, basically.
I'm always a hack.
Always a hack. So do you think you will continue that trend, or will you actually get better?
I feel like this one. I feel like these rankings are going to be half and half. I think you're going to like some of them, and the other ones I think you're going to be like, why is this here? I don't think you're going to hate anything, except for maybe one. Maybe. But otherwise, I think I'm going to get a pass today.
Wow. You sound like a girlfriend that I'm not going to cheat on you. Well, maybe a little. We'll see where it goes. I'm not really.
Why are you talking about Alexis like that?
Okay, Mike. I'm getting some weird feedback. Just a heads up for whoever. I don't know who that is coming from, but somebody. But Mike.
Yes.
You've had the most actual yikes that have ever been created on the show that did not involve the actual list. So, how many movies are you going to sell Barr on that he needs to go watch, and how many times are you going to make Cameron feel very uncomfortable?
I give it a 50-50 split.
Yikes.
So that's 50 times for each of those things with only 10 films.
All right. Cameron, you have not surprised anybody with your list so far. I don't think that's going to continue. I think it's going to continue the entire way. Are these movies better than the last two, or are these worse?
To me, they are better. I feel like I've spent the last 2 weeks kind of building up some goodwill with Cody. Cody has, for the most part, liked the things on my list. I feel like this week could be the week where that starts to fall apart.
Once we get higher,
it's all downhill from here.
And Nazario, we figured out that you've had a fucked up childhood growing up with some of the movie choices. And I think slowly you're starting to mess with your own child by showing him the things that fucked you up. So, this week, are we going down that path more, or are we going to do some better movies?
Neither? I mean,
nice.
Really, I mean, I actually don't think I have any children-centric stories for this section of my list. In fact, I think I may have turned really hard the other way.
Oh, no.
I don't know if that's a good thing, so we'll just have to see.
I'm scared.
I'm in danger. All right. So, if you haven't seen the last two episodes, please go back to see the other episodes. But the so far movies that have been yikes are, except Warrior, except My Cousin Vinny. Our editing department is our graphics department fell asleep last week. He'll wake up next week, I hear. But yeah, these movies have been yikes so far. And we're going to the next side to see are we on the? Yeah, we're on the next side now. Nazario, this means not a lot of people have the same taste as you. Get better. Okay, so we're back.
I'm special.
We're going to kick this off with the same person we kick off every week with, Barr. Give us your 80, your 89, and your 88. I can let you go first, so I don't have to hear you first.
So 79 and
my
78,
80,
Cody.
my 79, my 78.
I don't know where we are. But start talking. You know I don't.
Where is that
I'm just
cloud
here-
going?
I'm just here for the hosting. That's all I do.
All
Been
right.
2 years since the last episode was filmed, Barr. Calm down.
It's been 84 years and I'm tired. All right, go.
All right. My number 80 is Shaun of the Dead.
Yikes.
Cool. Okay. My number.
Is that in the episode or farther away?
Farther. Yeah, it's way farther.
I figured it would be.
My number 79 is Rocketman.
That is also my 79.
Woo!
No, sorry. That's a yikes within this episode. Sorry, it's not. I thought we were gonna have that beautiful moment. But it's a
79.
yikes
Well,
within this
actually, it's
episode.
Okay, well,
I got
understand how
confused.
numbers work.
I got
We'll talk
confused.
about that later this episode, apparently.
I got confused.
Now tell us your next one.
And my number 78 is Clue. Okay.
Terrible. Go ahead.
I see. I knew there was going to be one.
I'm just
there was one.
totally joking.
All right, so
Co-host
Clue is
already
the only-
flipping me off backstage.
I guess Clue is the only one I'm going to talk about. Okay, Clue. This movie has no right being as fun as it is. Like, I think that the slapstick comedy really kind of works in this movie. I also like the digs that the characters take at each other. They're so subtle, but they're so hurtful. Some of the things that they say to each other, like when Professor Plum calls out Miss Peacock on her pressured speech. It's great. But I think the mystery is intriguing. I think the characters are really likable, and I think the comedy works out really well. Yes, flames on the side of my head. But also, one of my favorite quotes of all time comes at the end, where now I'm gonna go home and sleep with my wife. Great way to end a movie. Clue is great.
I don't know if that's the best cinematic line ever delivered, but it's funny. I absolutely love this movie. I like murder mysteries, and Tim Curry, it kind of wins for me. But I also like I thought the line you were going to refer to is when Mr. Green and they're going back and forth. He goes, he's like, you're going to try to make me look like an idiot. You don't need anybody to look like an idiot. That's right.
That's right.
And then when Curry answers the door and basically says, if you don't open the door, we're going to get you for murder. Murder? Why would you say that? The overall movie is very funny. I have heard people say it's not funny. That's fine if it's not your brand of humor, but I actually really enjoyed this movie. Well done. 78, fine. I think any higher may be a little weird, but no, I think 78 is a perfect range for Clue. No one else gets to talk about it, so that's fun. And Mike, let's start the crazy train.
Okay. Number 80 is not crazy. It's Wes Craven's A Nightmare on Elm Street. I love the hell out of this movie.
I think I might have that, or maybe not.
I'm just surprised it's this low.
You do not. I'm getting told from the person in the back you do not.
I don't. Okay.
Okay. Number
That's why I pay him the
79,
big bucks.
I have Re-Animator. Didn't figure anybody would have that one. And number 78, I have Escape from New York. Again, I kind of figured no one would have it. So let's talk about Nightmare. Nightmare. This movie scared the hell out of me when I was a little kid because it's the one monster guy that you got Jason and Freddy. Jason and Michael, who can kill you when you're awake. You got Freddy, who can get you when you're sleeping. Well, the one spot that people think that is safest the most, you got Freddy kicking the shit out of you in your dreams. Basically what happens. And Heather Langenkamp as Nancy is incredible in this movie. I love the fact that it takes all of her friends to get chopped to bits for her to go, do you know what? Let's kick the shit out of them. Let's go do this. Let's booby trap the shit up. Let's go for it. I love that she puts a sledgehammer on the top of her bedroom to slam down on him when he goes outside the bedroom door. It's amazing. The effects in this are incredible. His long arms, even though it's goofy now looking at it, back then, that was some scary fucking shit, seeing it from the shadows, walking around. It's just performances all around. Johnny Depp's death is amazing. Everyone that's talked about the most is an amazing death. Tina's death is so insane. The amount of blood that's used in that scene, including Johnny Depp being together, is insanity. You guys have heard it. You guys know it. It's a great fucking movie. Let's move on to Cody. What you gotta say? Anything?
No, you get to talk about all of it, and then I get to go back.
Okay. So 79, Re-Animator. Here we go. Batshit crazy time. It is. It totally is. You got Jeffrey Combs coming back from last week from Frighteners now to starring in this one as a medical student who loves to bring back or reanimate people and animals. The first thing he does is he takes his roommate's cat, he kills it, he freezes it, and then he brings it back to life. And it's a batshit crazy scene of the cat trying to attack Jeffrey Combs in the basement until his roommate comes down, grabs the cat, and fucking tosses it across the room, smashing against the wall to kill it finally. And it just gets more nuts from there. You got people who, you got the main dean from the school and his associate who are either trying to stop it or trying to take credit for Jeffrey Combs' idea to bring people back. You have a headless guy who does something with his tongue on somebody that will not be spoken of on this. I don't want to go X-rated on it, but it's a very disturbing scene. You have reanimated zombie that kills Barbara Crampton's father in a very sadistic fashion, then is brought back into like this dumb zombie thing that his partner tries to drill into his head to make it to try to be able to control him. And then you have his main partner who gets turned into a headless zombie that telepathically can communicate with other dead zombies, trying to rule everything. Jeffrey Combs is amazing in this movie. It's a great fucking movie. We're moving on to 78. Escape from New York. It's Kurt Russell time, and this is not the last time Kurt Russell will be mentioned on this show at all. This is a badass role of Kurt Russell, Snake Plissken, going to New York to save the President of the United States, played by the bald Donald Pleasance. Loomis himself. He has now become the president after killing Michael, and now he has to be saved by Snake Plissken. It's an amazing concept of a movie, having New York as a fucking prison. You got Isaac Hayes as the Duke, which is incredible. And then you have Harry Dean Stanton as Brain, which I love. Harry Dean Stanton and Adrian Barbro, I believe that's how you pronounce the last name, as his significant other. Those two together are great. The chemistry between Harry Dean Stanton and Kurt Russell is amazing. This is one of my favorite characters ever. Kurt Russell is amazing in this. There's a part with a wrestling ring and bats with spikes out of it. That is an incredible scene. If you have not seen this, they have a bridge scene that has mines on it. And the action throughout, it's everything you want in an action adventure movie. And it has Kurt Russell. So how can you go wrong? It's a great fucking movie.
You said a whole lot. Okay. Nightmare Before Elm Street. I don't know if this is the one that started with the song or like had the song in it, but that song still creeps me out to this day. And this one was always the one. There's like, I don't know if it's like the first few that like the first few were fine of this, I think. Then they got really weird and gross, I think. I'm not sure, but like I think there's one that it may have been gross all the way through, I don't know. But like one, she's like a giant worm or something, like force feeding this girl food and stuff like that. I have no idea. I'm out. I am completely out after that point. But these first ones, this used to scare the shit out of me because I would not sleep for days because I was terrified that Freddy was coming. So hell no. Never going to show this to anybody. This movie can die where it's at. Nope. I think it will bring back PTSD for me, to be honest with you. I pulled something up from Re-Animator. Go to, like, what the fuck is that? Like, no. There's a head. There's apparently a head in the thing, and it's talking. I'm out. No. Don't watch it. No, don't watch it, actually. Move on. An Escape from Cohort is. I wonder if Coho's alive because we're still on 80. 78 is Escape from New York. Fun fact: I've never seen like Escape from New York or LA. I kind of want to, but then I kind of don't. I don't know. I'm not. I wasn't the biggest fan of Big Trouble, and I know that's like how dare you. So like I don't want to go down that path and not be excited, but I will promise to watch those one day. Cameron, please say something. You have like rainbows and sunshine of some sort in yours.
We're so close to rainbows and sunshine. At my 80, I actually also have a Wes Craven movie. At my 80, I have Scream. Wow, I was expecting Mike or Nazario to have that, but I guess not. At my 79, I have 22 Jump Street. And at my 78, I have Short Term 12.
What?
Yeah. I love Nazario and Mike are the ones reacting what to a pick I have after all they've done. Yeah, Scream. It has been made very clear over the past 2 episodes when Nazario and Mike talk about stuff. I'm not the biggest fan of horror movies, but I love the hell out of Scream. It's a great, just like parody, but also love letter to the genre, and I think that's why I love it, because it's like, it's not trying to be like this incredibly gory, incredibly violent thing. It's just like, hey, here's a cool thing where if you're familiar with the idea of horror movies, you will hopefully get it and appreciate it, and I think that's why I love it, because it's got like, just that little bit of poking fun at the genre that I don't love, but I understand. I think it's great. The rest of the franchise is not as good, but this first one is still great. And Randy is a character that basically could be compared to basically everyone in the movie trivia circle. 79, 22 Jump Street. I think that the Jump Street movies are some of the best comedies of the 2010s. We'll talk about 21 at a later point in time. But 22 Jump Street, I think it's a fantastic sequel. There are days where I might think it's better than the original, but at the time I made my list, I picked 21 Jump Street over 22. I think it's great. The jokes still hit. I think one of my favorite jokes is when they get to like the big new office that's just across the street, and there's the giant glass office that Ice Cube has. They just go, "Your office, it looks like a giant cube of ice." I'm like, that's such a great joke. And then the relationship between Ice Cube's daughter and Jonah Hill. The slam poetry scene is one of just the greatest pieces of what the hell comedic writing. And it's a great sequel that raises the stakes and is really fun. And then 78, to go in a completely different direction, we have Short Term 12. Short Term 12 is an indie movie by Destin Daniel Cretton. If you couldn't already tell by those words, Paulo Yama is the one who recommended this movie to me.
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah. It's a movie about like a group of people who work at a essentially care facility for like troubled youth. And it stars Brie Larson, Rami Malek, Stephanie Beatriz, Lakeith Stanfield, and Caitlin Dever, who gives an incredible performance. And it's basically just like this slice of life human story about these people in this situation, where this new girl comes to this place. And Brie Larson's character essentially sees so much of her own troubled past in this girl and tries to relate to her. Lakeith Stanfield is absolutely incredible in it. Caitlin Dever will win an Oscar at some point in her career. I'm calling it now. I just rewatched it literally right before getting on this call. Every time I've watched it, it makes me tear up and cry. It's fantastic.
Okay. Number 80 is Scream. Really surprised by 2 people not having Scream. We did Re-Animator and whack shit, but we can't have Scream. I absolutely love the Scream franchise. I think it's 3 that's considered the bad one. I think that's the not so great one. But I still enjoy all of them. I still have a good time with every one of them. I love that. It kind of got me back into horror movies because they're not horror movies, kind of horror. Like they are, but they play on
pseudo horror. Like
yeah. I would never answer my phone when I was younger. But yeah, I think Scream's great. Yeah, that's fine. I probably put Scream 2. I like Scream 2 better than Scream 1. That's only my thing, but Scream is good. You didn't even have it on your list. Can you say anything, Nazario? I don't think so.
Make the right order, though. It's 1, 2, 4, 3.
Just think about your witches. Okay, you could have had Scream. And 79. I'm confused by something you said that it's always like it could either be one or the other, but I don't think maybe 21's in the same realm, but like, does it jump that much? I'm confused. I like 20.
Cody, you will see.
I like 22 a lot. I like 21 more. We'll talk about it. But there is something in this movie that I can't stand. I think it's Julian Glover, or what's her name? What is her name?
Julian Bell?
Bell. That's it. Okay. Can we not? Can she
person.
not be a thing? Can she just not be a thing? I don't find her funny. I find her like she's like she's like going to be typecast as that actress that just says the ridiculous things just to try to get you to laugh. I think she totally takes the movie down when she shows up in scene. But I still like the movie. I can't say because I think I'm with you. 21 and 22 shouldn't work at all.
No,
but work to perfection. So,
everyone said when we were going to revive this program, it wouldn't work.
I will surprise everybody on call right now. Short Term 12, or whatever it's called. I have not seen.
Wow.
I didn't even know this was a movie. I'm going to be honest with you. I thought you just put a
girl from Booksmart. I'd assume you hate it.
I like Booksmart. I'll watch it. We'll see, but I'm not. I just had no clue because this was a movie. Nazario had a reaction to it, but again, he's been in the courtroom since this whole thing started because he's been on trial every week. So let's see if his trial will continue. Nazario, gosh, what do you got?
I don't think I'm going to talk much about number 80 right now because it is The Social Network.
Yikes! Yikes!
Yikes! Yikes!
I have to make sure.
You only had to know. You have to know your whole list. But you sure it's just within the 10 that you really like? There should be these movies that are like no duh.
I couldn't remember if I had already talked about it or not.
My 79, it's Natural Born Killers.
Why am I not surprised?
And my 78 is the best Mad Max Fury Road.
Oh, fucking kill me.
Okay. So Natural Born Killers. Natural Born Killers, Oliver Stone, is a great satire made in the 90s. It takes this Mick and Mallory story about basically serial killers just because they're insane and they just want to do it, that get famous because of all the networks and the media coverage they want the viewers and they just want to follow this bloody mess. Doesn't really matter that they're killing people. It just matters that they get in your ratings. And I think he meant it as a precautionary tale, like where society could go. And we just went for it because, I mean, if that was happening now, I mean, it would be like trending everywhere and covered on everything in social media. I have no doubt that we would have just stepped on the deep end on that one. It has great acting. Everybody, Woody Harrelson is amazing. And even Rodney Dangerfield, that it has a short scene as Mallory's dad. It's just creepy and funny, and it just gets you in that weird space. That it's a great movie. It's a great scene, and Robert Downey Jr. is great as the reporter in the end. So I don't know why you guys don't have it. This is a great film, but sure. And now 78, Mad Max Fury Road. I really, really like this movie. It's simplicity in itself. It's just basically a movie about a woman who wants to steal. To escape from a tortured life by going off-road. She then returns. It is amazing. It has basically a script that you could say in 20 pages, and at the same time, it's visually enthralling, and it's exciting in every second, and you never lets you break free from it. And it's not really a Mad Max movie either. It's because Mad Max has basically like a secondary role, like he's the eyes you get the story from, but definitely this is Imperator's Furiosa movie, and Charlize Theron is amazing in the role. She really steals the show. And I don't know why you guys don't have good movies on your list.
Okay. 79. Yes, the Woody Harrelson poster that I've seen a million times with the sunglasses that I've never watched ever. Maybe one day. You know what? I'm wishing this is December. I've changed my heart. Something has changed within me. Nope. Still fucking shitty ass movie. Black and white, color, sound, picture off, picture on, sound off, sound on. Don't care. Terrible movie. I don't care. I sat through this thing with my brother. I finally looked over at one point. He looked like he was enjoying it. We got up. I said, "Oh, so you liked it?" He goes, "No, I was hoping you would want to leave." And I was like, "Damn it! I've been thinking the entire time I wanted to walk out of this thing." A whole battle for gasoline, and they don't fill up these fucking 18-wheelers one time, but a guy can play guitar on the back of it and make it, ooh, so cool. The practical effects are fine. They're fine. But once everything slows down, nap time, because it fucking puts me out. And then, you know what? I hate my troubled past. I'm escaping. I finally get my escape. We finally took over one of these vehicles. It's time to escape. I'm gonna go fucking back. Let's do this whole road again. We survived everything. Let's go back. You already don't have an arm. You have one arm. Let's do it again. Terrible. I'm glad you put it here, so no, I didn't have to hear Barr rant about it, but yeah, gosh no.
She need that mother's milk, though.
What?
She need the mother's milk, man. Come on.
I'd rather be put under one of the tires. I'm going to be honest with you. All right. Gloves are coming off. Here we go. 77, Barr. Take it.
So, as some people know, I'm a music nerd.
Really?
And yeah.
No idea.
Yeah. And one genre that I really do love a lot, of course, one genre that I really do love a lot is folk music. So Inside Llewyn Davis really speaks.
Yikes.
Ooh, okay, nice.
You might want to say the movie, then build up, because then when you get yikes, it's just like...
That's fair.
Throw it away.
I just wasn't expecting that. Okay. So this is one I know that no one will have on their list, so I'm going to build this up. So I'm going to do what I want. On August 1st, 1966, a very tragic event happened in American history at the University of Texas. There is a fantastic documentary about it, though, called Tower. Tower is a fantastic documentary about this tragic event where a sniper went up to the bell tower of the University of Texas and went on a rampage. Tower recounts the event through witness accounts of both victims, students, and the police. And it's told through archival footage and rotoscope animation. For those who don't know what rotoscope animation is, basically they take live action images and they draw over it. It's kind of the same thing they do for like Heavy Metal and Waking Life and A Scanner Darkly. And it is the only way to it is the only way to tell this story as effectively as they tell it, because the way that it is portrayed is it's like you're watching real life, but you can't believe what's going on. And at one point, one of the people who was shot is talking about how she's just lying on the ground and how blue the sky is, and you're both. It's both a beautiful image, but it's kind of terrifying because you can tell how close to the verge of death she is at that moment. It's a powerful, powerful documentary. It's the only documentary on my list, and I highly recommend it to anybody who is looking for a great documentary.
Haven't seen it. Sounds interesting. I looked at the images. It sounds like something I might check out. Anybody else seen Tower?
Wow.
I've seen The Dark Tower.
I've seen that
worst
one.
option. Ooh, worst option.
Okay, so you're saying it's better than Dark Tower?
It's way better than Dark Tower.
I thought that was in your top 20. Never
I
mind.
don't, I
Okay,
don't know.
sorry.
I don't know. Idris Elba is in this movie. I think.
Gotta give it a pass. 75, Barr.
My number 75 is Rosemary's Baby, the original Rosemary's Baby, not the Zoe Saldana remake. God no.
That's a thing.
That's a thing. There's a Zoe Saldana remake of Rosemary's Baby, and it is bad.
Well, let's talk about the one you put on your list.
Rosemary's Baby is this really unsettling horror movie about a woman who is taken advantage of by a demon, and she's giving birth to the Antichrist, essentially. But before you find that out, it's like this weird, like, psychological horror where she and her lover are moving into this new place, and the neighbors are just weird and unsettling and kind of creepy. And then you find out they're all part of a cult to bring the Antichrist to the world. This movie is terrifying, but it's really well shot and really well acted. Yeah, Rosemary's Baby. If you're looking for like a good horror movie, this is one that I highly recommend.
This is from the same director of Chinatown, right?
Yes. It is. Let's separate the art from the artist for the moment, though.
No, I don't care about that. I don't.
Oh, okay.
No,
cool.
I don't bring that up. So, yeah, I saw Chinatown this past week, and it's okay. It's not perfection. It's not chef's kiss, I will say. But
I get
Rosemary's Baby. No, thank you. I'm married.
Got a weird cult.
I'm married. We may have children one day, and I don't want anything. Not okay with babies and not being the demon of Satan. I already think my neighbors are creepy, so just putting it out there. I don't want that situation to happen. So this movie's not my cup of tea.
Well, Cody, if that's the case, then if they ever offer you Lipton tea, don't drink it.
Well, shit, honey, throw it out. Okay, I haven't seen it. I figure Cam hasn't seen it, correct?
Surprising no one. No.
I'm going to go to the two horror guys. Why didn't this make your list?
It's a great fucking movie, but I like other things better.
Return to Oz.
This one
doesn't have Pumpkinhead in it.
This movie's very psychological. I love it. The cult aspect is great. The less you know about it, the better going in. It is a great fucking movie.
That's right.
So it's just not creepy enough for you. Not enough blood. Cool. Give us your 74.
My 74 is my favorite Disney animated film. It is The Great Mouse Detective. I love this movie. When I went to visit my Nana, when I was younger, she had a small collection of VHS tapes that my brother and I would watch while she and my parents would talk. This was one of them. This is the one that I would watch the most often, and I rewatched it recently. It holds up damn well. The animation in this movie is fantastic. It's actually better than some of the movies that would follow it. It's got a great villain in Ratigan. It's got a great protagonist in Basil of Baker Street. The dynamic between the two of them, even when they're not in the same area as each other, is actually kind of electrifying. And it's got some really, really dark images for a Disney movie. The scene where Fidget breaks in and he kidnaps the young girl's father, kind of terrifying. This movie is absolutely fantastic, and it holds up amazingly well, especially that clock tower scene.
So I prefer this movie with Robert Downey Jr.
It's a good one, but not this.
But I do like this one. Is this the first Disney movie to pop up on your list?
It is the first, and spoiler alert, I think it's the only. No, there's one more.
I was gonna say, I think you've already got
Weird.
one.
Okay, that's gonna make a fucking yikes for me, dog. this is the one of two. Okay. We just look at Disney animation a little different. This is good. This is a good one. I think this is a very underrated one in Disney's canon. So if you're gonna bring one, I kind of like that you brought this one. It is very dark themes. It is very dark tone. It is not traditional Disney. It was like that mid 80s versus 90s where they were just like pushing the barrier with these villains. Like they'll do some effed up shit. So I like the choice. Should have made, if Mike liked animation, it may make them because it's kind of fucked up. But yeah, I think it's a good movie. I don't know if I put it on my top 100. There's a lot of Disney to consider. I don't know if this one make it, but that's fair. I'm gonna go to Zario first. Why did this not make your list?
This is in my top 20 best Disney movies. Doesn't even break the top 10. And I already mentioned a movie I have in my top 10 as a 90-something. So it doesn't really. I don't think it breaks this deep into my complete movies, lore whatever. But it's really a good movie overall. I mean, like I said, top 20 Disney animated movies, especially Vincent Price as Ratigan. That's just delicious.
Just the way he chews the scenery, even when he's not on screen.
That's another word. Barr is gonna. I'm just gonna create a non-list of words Barr can't say. Chew scenery, chef's kiss. You're having a lot of shit right now.
Dirty.
Oh, it just creeps me out. Cam, what do you gotta say?
To echo what you said, I prefer the Sherlock Holmes story when it's the TV show with Benedict Cumberbatch. That's my personal preference of Sherlock stories. The mouse isn't named Sherlock Holmes, so how good of a movie can this? No, I think this is a good movie. I haven't seen it since I was a kid. Yeah.
Mike, you love it.
I haven't seen it since I was a kid. I know, right? I don't really remember a lot of it. I remember I enjoyed it, but I don't really remember any specific scenes. But I definitely want to rewatch it for sure.
I'm gonna say it gets 3.5 stars from Mike. Okay.
That's a pretty good fucking movie.
3. I'm just saying. In Mike's terms, it's animated. It automatically goes down 2 stars because it's drawn. But Mike, take us through your. Oh God, I don't think you're ready. 77.
Let's fucking go. Hey guys, you know Night of the Living Dead? Do you want to talk about the sequel? Well, we're not talking about the sequel yet. We're talking about Return of the Living Dead. The comedy horror masterpiece, god damn it. This movie's fucking amazing. It's about punk rockers and zombies. How could you not love this fucking movie? You got a group.
You said 2 word choices that would make me not love this movie. Go ahead.
You got a group of punk rockers who are going to visit Goal's boyfriend at this medical supply place that he is starting his first job at. Now, at this first job, him and his boss decide to go down to the basement because the boss goes, "Hey, you want to check out something cool? It's a fucking motor that has a dead goddamn body in it." And he goes, "Fuck it, let's just look at it for a couple minutes." And he decides to bang it. Smoke comes out, fucks them all up. He fucking gets knocked out. A cemetery is right next to his medical supply place. The fucking smoke from it gets people up. Zombies are back alive, baby. And it's one of the greatest zombies I've ever seen. It's a little person zombie. It's an amazing scene with a little person zombie. It's incredible. It's got the Tar Man zombie, which was in the canister, which he is funny as hell. He's funny looking as well. And you got this bald zombie that was a medical cadaver for medical students that gets its head knocked off. It has so many great sequences in this movie. So fun, so amazing. And the zombies can talk. And you find out why they want to eat people and why they want to eat brains. You know why? Because it hurts being fucking dead. That's why. It's a great fucking movie.
I just love Mike on this one. Like, after watching these episodes, you don't even have to go watch the movies because Mike has broken it down almost the start scene to the end scene. Man. I'll tell you, this did not climb to the top of my watch list. I'll be honest with you. So, Nazario, what do you think?
I really like this, but it's weird. I remember this movie as being funny, being a little scary, and being just like a popcorn flick that you enjoy with your friends and you laugh along with the movie. I would never consider this putting it on a top 100 until Mike described it, and I remember how I felt when I watched it. I was like, damn, maybe I should have.
No, you really shouldn't have. Barr, what do you say about this?
Boy, it didn't climb to the top of Cody's watch list, but it sure climbed to the top of my watch list.
Who's shocked? Not me. And Cameron. He's never felt so silent ever in his life, except when Mike talks.
Would you be surprised if I told you I haven't seen this movie?
I am utterly appalled. All right. I don't even want to proceed, Mike.
Okay, this one, not a weird movie, but I'm pretty sure it's going to get yikes right now. It's between the two. The Perks of Being a Wallflower.
Yikes.
Kind of figured. I kind of figured it was
Mike and Cam have the Didn't you have They Live too?
Yeah. Mike and I are either like very in sync or on complete opposite.
It's like, hey,
they're like magnets. You just twist them one way and they just repel each other.
Except like most of them is shot through a wall because Cam's like, I don't know. Mike, what's your next one?
Okay, so 75. I know I'm going to get yikes from this from Cameron. It's Near Dark.
That's close. It was 101. It was 101.
This was my 11.
Damn. It is a neo-Western vampire movie directed by Catherine Bigelow. It is such an amazing, gritty vampire movie. On the fucking poster of the movie, Bill Paxton, in one of my favorite roles of his. He is so batshit insane in this movie. He is so funny. There you go. He termed before Good Will Hunting, the term "How do you like them apples?" comes up from Bill Paxton. It is incredible. This movie is about a young man that decides to hit up a girl that he finds attractive. She ends up biting him, and he ends up joining her family of vampires that includes Lance Hendrickson in an amazing fucking role that they drive around in a fucking van with, what do you call it? I cannot think of the fucking term, but they have the windows blocked off so they can drive through the daylight. It's an amazing, yes, tinted. But it's not really tinted. It's stuff that they use to fucking put up there and tape up. But they have two amazing scenes in this movie. One involves a motel with cops and them stuck in a motel room when it's daylight and cops blasting the shit out of them in this fucking motel, destroying the motel. They hit everything, including these guys. It's such a great story. Like, even if you don't like vampire movies, I suggest you take a look at this movie. Because this movie has such acting, and the atmosphere of it is just incredible. The journey that this guy goes through while his dad and his little sister try to follow along and trying to catch him. They have a little kid zombie that's attached, a little kid vampire, Jesus Christ, little kid vampire that's attached to this group that wants to turn his little sister into a vampire. They have incredible scenes in this, incredible acting. It's Catherine Bigelow, so if you love Catherine Bigelow movies, check this out. It's a great fucking movie.
Every time we end this show 1 week, I go through people's lists and I'm like, what movie should I watch off people's list? Mike, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know what half the shit you talk about. But you're passionate, so that helps. I'm actually considering watching this one a little bit more because you named stuff and it didn't start with like people shitting or people's heads getting ripped off or someone like bleeding until they fucking explode. So like that's a start. This is a starting point. I will give us a bit of truth. Near Dark, Barr and Cameron, have you seen it? No.
You'd be correct.
This is one that I've actually been aware of. It's one that I've been wanting to see because I do like Catherine Bigelow as a director. We'll talk about her later, actually. And I have seen the one scene with Bill Paxton in the bar as he's like walking across the top of it. And that was a great scene. So it's had my interest. I just haven't gotten around to it.
I have not seen this one.
Well, I'm appalled. Step up your movie watching game. What the hell? All right, Mike, what's your next one?
Number 74, I have Raising Arizona.
Really?
Yeah. I love that.
Hey, you know there's no real blood in this one, right? You want to substitute it out?
The guy wearing pantyhose on his head. So.
I'm aware.
Okay, go ahead.
From a young age, I got into Coen Brothers movies and absolutely fell in love with their filmmaking. And this was one of the few that I didn't watch until I was in high school, and it just grabbed me right away. I just love the homages to Sam Raimi in this movie, especially the action scenes. The way they move that camera is Sam Raimi, Evil Dead, all the fucking way. Nicolas Cage and Holly Hunter are amazing in this together. The chemistry is top notch. You got John Goodman, who is screaming at the top of his lungs for 30 fucking seconds for no goddamn reason while he's breaking out of prison by digging himself through a fucking hole. And then he grabs Roland Forsythe by the feet and drags his muddy ass out of the hole while screaming at the top of his lungs, still for no goddamn reason. The stuff that I love about Coen Brothers is that they'll have the wackiest shit, but they'll have heart in it as well. And that's what I love about this movie. It puts both together perfectly. The wackiness coincides with the comedy, coincides with the heart. The baby snatching scene, which should be fucking disturbing because they're kidnapping a small fucking child, turns it on its head and becomes a little adventure in itself. The babies are running fucking everywhere. They're jumping out of the goddamn crib. They're crawling out of the room. Nicolas Cage is trying to grab all of them, and it's like the babies are fucking with them the whole time. It's incredible. I don't want to give away all the wackiness of this movie because it's so fucking good. Nicolas Cage is amazing in this movie. It's a great fucking movie.
I'm not a fan of Coen Brothers. I'm really not. I wouldn't say I'm not a fan. That's not the correct statement. I have ones that I really like, and there's ones that I'm just like, meh. Like Big Lebowski, I don't like. I haven't seen Raising Arizona. So I can't really weigh in on that. I think I'll actually like Raising Arizona. So I will check that one out. But yeah, it's always hit and miss with the Coens for me. Barr, you like the Coen Brothers. Why did Raising Arizona not make your list, you hack?
I don't know why you keep calling me that after I've just proven myself these last couple months.
Always a hack.
Once a hack, always a hack. I really do love the Coen Brothers a lot. They are one of my favorite directing teams. This is one of the films, though, that I'm not as crazy about as everyone else is. I still like the movie, but it's just one that didn't connect with me as much as other particular Coen Brother films have. So I respect the pick, mad respect for this, just not for me.
Mad respect. Cameron.
I have not gotten around to seeing this one yet. I'm slowly trying to get, every few weeks to a month or so, I'll try and watch a new Coen Brothers film. Just haven't gotten this one yet. But I like the Coens, so.
Well, you didn't say mad respect, so you're better than the hack. Nazario.
I think this movie is funny. I like the Coen Brothers mostly. They have a couple of oofs in there, really strongly. But overall, I don't even think this is in the top 5 movies. So if I was gonna consider putting Coen Brothers movies in the list, which I may or may not have, I think this wouldn't be even that close to the cut. I can, off the top of my head, think of at least 5 that I like better. It's not a bad movie. It's just, I guess, a simpler and more lighthearted tone for the movie. So it's perfect for Mike. He loves these things.
Mike, regardless of your team partners being a douche right now, I will say we are proud of you because you're making steps towards recovery on picking some batshit stuff. So I'm proud of you.
Did he
I
freeze
broke
frame?
Cody.
Right. Ho, get in here.
What do you want, Ho?
I broke Cody.
Yeah, fix
You
Cody.
need to fix it.
I mean, we can wait because this is we can edit this one, so we can wait.
We can edit these. I'll just say right now, Nazario, I fucking hate that you said that the Coen Brothers have some big oofs because that's an incorrect statement. Even their worst, no, sir. Even their worst movie is just fine. At worst, they have just fine. At best, they have perfect. So
I think
need to
confusing
own that
brothers
now.
with Tim Burton.
Oh God. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Oh my God, Cody's face is going to stay like that forever.
It might actually
Hey,
just
Cody,
stay
my
like-
number 77 is I don't know what's a movie that would make Cody mad. My number 77 is Mad Max Fury Road again.
There he is.
You forgot the exit, yeah.
Uh-oh.
There he is.
Hi, Cody.
The whole internet is. Psh.
He looks
I was
so
like-
happy.
Mike froze, like laughing, and I was like, "Oh, Mike." No, it was me. It was me.
We're all sitting there like, oh, Cody?
You guys won't even
Another
know
bro.
about this because what we're talking about because I'm going to cut all this. So blah blah blah. Cool. Where the hell are we?
It's my 77, I believe now.
Yeah.
Did you say it before, Mike?
I have
Was
not said it
Yeah,
yet.
I said my 74. It was raising a.
Cool. All right, Cam, 77.
Man, if you thought that I was a depraved and dark individual last week when I talked about liking the Stanford prison experiment, just wait till you hear me talk about my number 77, Trainspotting. Cool, no one has it. Yeah, this is a dark movie. This is a movie that's hard to watch at points, but I think it's fantastic. Yeah, sorry, it's a very dark movie.
Yeah.
I think Llewyn McGregor is absolutely fantastic in this movie. It's just like this essentially character study of these group of guys who are so dependent on heroin that like it essentially consumes their lives, and then seeing the repeated attempts of Llewyn McGregor's character to leave this world and eventually being able to become successful. Where at the beginning he tries to leave and then he ends up falling back, and then when him and his friends all fall back after they try and reintegrate into society and they fail, it results in the death of one of their kids just because they're so high that they completely neglect the child. And it's a haunting scene that's hard to watch. But it's just like, it's got a really weird, dark sense of humor at points that I really love. I think that, I'm about to blank on his name. The guy who plays Begbie, the guy, Robert Carlyle, is incredible in this movie. And, like, he starts off as just one of their friends, and then the way he almost becomes, like, the villain of the movie, and just his, like, absolute kind of crazy meltdown near the end is fantastic. I think this movie's great. Yeah.
I love the opening scene. I think this is one of the best opening scenes, like, in movies. Like, I think it's great. I talked about it on opening scenes in movies. I really enjoyed it. I just don't overall like the movie that much. I think it's fine. I think it connects with other people a little bit more. Did Boyle direct this one?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. I just not a huge fan of it. I haven't seen the second one either. But
it's great.
I don't. Again, this is 77, so these are it can be some weird picks. Not saying all of them are correct, Nazario. But what do you guys think about Trainspotting?
This is a movie that I know that I would have to be in the mood to watch, and I haven't watched it yet.
I've never been in that mood yet. Barr.
I actually like Trainspotting quite a bit. I watched it when I was in high school, and it kind of was my favorite film for a period of time there. And after a while, maybe I don't know, I became more cynic or something. I prefer other things over it, but it's a really good movie. I really like the toilet scene. I don't know how you can talk about Trainspotting and not talk about the toilet scene, but it's pretty great. Just not top, I guess.
Mike?
I love this movie. It's a great fucking movie. Now, I decided to show this movie to my best friend who was pregnant at the time. Great fucking timing by my part with what happens in this fucking movie. But it is a great fucking movie. I love it.
I'm not the only one with internet connections that just drops out of nowhere.
I keep fucking destroying people.
That's called Cam. I may do something weird. See if when he comes back.
Die.
Nazario, tell us what your 77 is, and then we'll bounce back. Koho, keep me on my toes if it's a yikes from Cam.
It is no, I think. Okay. I moved away from my list because it was not my turn. Okay. So I just go 77?
Yep.
My 77 is Perfume, The Story of a Murderer, a film by Tom.
Never mind, I forget. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
This movie is the story of Jean-Baptiste Grenouille, a man who was born with a great gift and a great curse. He had the best sense of smell in the whole world, and he was born in the middle of a fish market in Paris. It's a sad story from many points of view because he never gets an education. He doesn't understand things, how things work. He just has this incredible talent that he doesn't know how to embrace. And when he smells the essence of the women, he doesn't know how to control his impulses. So he tries to preserve it. And as he cannot preserve it, he ends up killing the women. He then realizes that he needs to learn how to be a perfumist so he can actually conserve that essence that he loves so much. And he becomes the apprentice of Dustin Hoffman, who is one of the great perfumists of the century in Paris. And he learns different arts of taking essence. And he learns also the story of this great perfume that was created with 13 base oils that was perfection. This movie also has Rachel Hurd-Wood in it, from Peter Pan. She actually plays the girl he chooses as his 13th essence, and it's a great role for a young actress. Alan Rickman, it's great in this picture, and basically it turns into the story of somebody who wants to learn how to keep this thing and the price he has to pay for it, and what he achieves in the end, which is the best essence of love in a bottle, that just a couple of drops can help you control the world. But at the same time, the loneliness that you get to feel when you know that by using this, no one will be able to love you the regular way, and you will never be able to love anybody back. For a movie with so much twisted blood and actually a devouring of a human person live and an orgy scene near the end, it's really sweet.
Man, you just changed what I was going to say. I was like, you said Hoffman, I'm in. Then you said the shit at the end. I may be out. I don't know. It sounds interesting. It sounds like a really interesting movie. I just haven't seen it. Not a surprise. If that was on my watch list already, whew, man, I've caught up to a lot of things in my life. I haven't seen Escape from New York, but this one, I've seen it. So
you could get it for free on Pluto TV, but be prepared for a lot of casino commercials.
See, when somebody says you can watch it free with ads, I'd rather just not watch it because I can't stand ads. It's my least favorite thing in the world. It's the reason why I pay for YouTube Premium, so I don't have to watch any ads. Mike, have you seen this movie?
When I first started working at Super Duper Video, I saw the cover of this movie.
Is that the name of the place you work?
Where I used to work at, yeah. Back
Super Duper Video?
Yes, I know. It's the greatest fucking video store ever.
I need to do a one-on-one with
fucking
Mike
work there,
Hanley.
that's why.
Like, I just need to do a one-on-one interview with Mike Hanley. This shit can't be real. All right, go ahead. Tell me.
But I saw the cover of this, and I looked at the back, and I read the synopsis, and I went, this is a fucking Mike movie through and through. Smells of people killing people? Let's fucking go. This was a great fucking movie.
Hell yeah.
Barr, you like Perfume? You hack?
It is called Cologne, good sir.
You wear Perfume.
I have not seen this.
Not surprising. Cam has went into the abyss, probably somewhere of one of Mike's movies. So we're going to go to your 76, and we're going to continue on.
Hey, somebody says that Milos Forman made one of the greatest biopics a couple of episodes back, I think. I think he did, but I think you picked the wrong one.
Oh, don't you dare.
My 76 is The People versus Larry Flint. It's my second Woody Harrelson movie for this section of the list, but I think is the better one. The story of this man is really interesting. This man was an extreme capitalist who just wanted to make money and doing it by going to giving people what they wanted, which was basically smut. And then he had to fight the establishment and religion for basic freedoms that you were supposed to have. And then he had to pay the price for this, not only physically, which he did because he was shot and became paralyzed in real life, but also because of the price it took on his relationship with his wife, Althea, and her tragic end because of the addiction created by the painkillers he had to have. This man basically took a bullet so people could masturbate freely. And no one respects him. He was a great man. And this is a great film.
I hate myself. I hate myself so much. I haven't seen this one. Brooklyn Vail saw it and thought, meh. Which doesn't tell you a lot, which doesn't give it a pass. I have not seen this movie. Barr, have you seen this movie?
It's been a while since I've seen this, actually. So it's one that I want to refresh on. I don't remember much about it because it's been a while. So,
and we have a surprise guest to weigh in on Larry Flint. This person got paralyzed so people could masturbate.
Yeah, my internet just completely crashed.
So what do you think about the movie and the man that let people freely masturbate?
Oh, haven't seen the movie.
That's fair.
It's not my prerogative, but if it's yours, sure.
We're gonna go back to Cam since he's back, and we're gonna go through. What are you on? Your 70 what?
We did my 77, so it would be my 76.
Sure. There we go.
My 76. Hey, Barr. Now it's Rocketman.
There we go.
76, not 79. I got it confused. This movie's great. I love Elton John. I love Elton John's music. I love musicals. I love Dexter Fletcher. Combine all of that, and you get Rocketman. Rocketman is fantastic. It's a great biopic of Elton John's life. It's got so many great down-to-earth scenes, and then just, absolute, fantasy moments. Like, the opening scene where you go from, him in rehab back to him being a kid, and it's, it starts all black and white, and then him just singing brings color, essentially, into this world. I think it's fantastic. The honky cat scene is absolutely fantastic, and it's something ripped straight out of an onstage musical. It is something that when Rocketman becomes a stage musical, can be staged pretty much exactly the same way. Taron Egerton is freaking incredible in it. He does a great job singing the Elton John songs. Yeah, I love this movie. It's a great story. Richard Madden's character is an asshole.
Yeah, I had it at 79. Everything Cameron just said is true. I think the performances in this are fantastic. I think that Taron Egerton did an amazing job as Elton. I think Bernie Taupin, Jamie Bell's performance in this is amazingly solid. He should have gotten more recognition for the performance that he gave in this movie. I agree. The Honky Cat sequence is the best sequence in this movie. It's amazing. And I love the fantastical style that they took with this. It really adds to Elton's story as a whole. Yeah, this musical is fantastic, and visually, it's amazing to watch.
Confused. Because Honky, that's fine. It's not the best scene in the movie. I will fight on that one. I am one of the biggest fans of this movie. I owe everything to Tim Brzakala. It was this or Godzilla. Godzilla. He said, Cody, go see Rocketman. You will enjoy Rocketman more. I had the best time of my life getting refills at the concession stand and somebody telling me, I like it, but he's just a little too flashy. Interesting. This is no secret, but COVID be damned. I was supposed to see Rocketman. I was supposed to see Elton John this year, but that got canceled. Hopefully, we will be able to get to it next year. But no, Rocketman, recency bias or what? I think the musical. I honestly didn't know it was a full musical. I just didn't know that it was jukebox, and it was fantastic. I think if this movie came out the year before, he wins the Oscar over Rami. It's just they gave it to Rami the year before. They were not going to give it to him this year, and there was a lot of strong people from that year. So I have no problem with Rocketman. I think Rocketman's fantastic. Nazario, Mike, what are your thoughts on Rocketman?
Isn't this still in theaters?
No.
I mean, it's recent, so I don't know. I guess movies take a little more time to sink in for me. It was my 14 out of movies from 2019, so I really actually enjoyed it very much. I enjoyed it a million times more than Bohemian Rhapsody. That movie is just But I don't know. I actually went through my 2019 list, and the only thing I considered to put in this was the best movie from last year, and I didn't end up putting it in, which was Parasite. But no.
That's a great one. That's a great movie too.
Maybe in the future. I do actually think this is a great film, but not yet, I guess.
That's it. Mike.
Now listen, unless it's Cannibal the Musical, I just can't get into musicals. Taron Egerton is amazing in this movie. I can't do it. It's a pretty good fucking movie.
Ooh, that hurts.
Yeah.
You should actually go see Cannibal the Musical. It's pretty fucking.
It's great. No, I really enjoy Cannibal.
Well, don't worry. He may have disappeared, but he's back to give us our 75. Cameron Holtzman. It says you're there. Maybe you're really not there. Who knows what's going on? I think we're going to take him away and let him restart. Give us your 75. Nazario.
This is going to be a messed up show with this order. Okay. 75. 75 is a foreign film that I actually expect people to have watched. It's a Brazilian film by Fernando Meirelles called City of God.
Oh, I wonder when this is going to appear.
City of God. It's a perfect crime movie. It's the story of a favela that starts with three kids who just call themselves the Trio Ternura because they basically steal a little thing here and a little thing there to keep living, because where they live, they don't have basic needs. They don't have gas, they don't have water, they don't have electricity most of the time. And so they just put on masks and rob the guy who brings the gas to sell to the store, which is kind of innocent, and yet it starts rolling up like a snowball, and the story starts to develop what happens with them. how other kids get involved, how things escalate. And suddenly you find yourself in the middle of a movie where you're having basically a drug war between two warring factions that live in the same favela. And it's really raw, it's really real. They said there's a whole scene in the middle of the movie around an apartment, which historically is the place where people buy their drugs. So just owning that apartment makes you the kingpin. And it has exchanged hands through the decades several times because people just come with guns and takes it. And in the end, where you think that the big resolution of the story is getting there, it's not really, because yes, this chapter has ended. The main capos are dead, but then the kids pick up the guns and say, well, now I'm going to take this. And it's kind of really a little disturbing seeing 5-year-olds taking guns. Like, we're going to run this thing now, because you know that actually for them, that's probably what's going to happen. It's really sad overall. And it has great performances by people who never acted before in their lives. There's actually an interesting documentary about an anniversary 10 years later after the making of this film, where everybody says like, well, they offered me $3,000 or part of the profits from the film, so I took the $3,000 because I didn't have anything to eat, and now I regret it. The people who got percentage got like $20,000 back a couple of years later, so it is what it is.
I've seen this movie. I had to watch this movie for a debate. That I debated Nazario against, and Cornhole Extraordinaire. It is not the perfect crime movie. It's a fine crime movie. It is fine. There are better ones. Taking a Pelham 1, 2, 3, The Killing. There's a few that I would name. There's a lot more, actually. Reservoir Dogs. But I think it's actually a pretty good movie. I think it is a pretty good movie. I think more people need to check it out. I was never one of the bad ones that I ever had to watch for a debate and hate my life afterwards. I really did enjoy the movie from start to finish. So 75 is fine for City of God. I knew it was coming. I just didn't know when. I'm going to bring somebody back to weigh on City of God. He's back. You've missed him.
My
he may
Wi-Fi
be gone.
is trying to kill itself today.
Cameron, what do you think about City of God?
I think that I haven't seen it.
Well, I'm glad I brought you back. Mike, City of God, what do you think?
I must have had a brain fart because I've seen this, but I do not remember anything about it, so I got to rewatch it.
Yeah, if you're not paying attention, it can... that probably happened. I had to rewind it about a couple times. Barr.
It's one I've been wanting to see. I just haven't gotten to it yet.
We're going to put that as we're just going to introduce him as I really want to see it, but I haven't. If it was City of Musicals, he would have seen it by now.
Maybe.
City of Godspell, then it's a great movie.
Cameron, what's your 75?
Yeah, we're going back to me. Cody, earlier you said, how can you think it's so close between 21 and 22 Jump Street?
Oh.
The answer is because 21 Jump Street's for 75.
I don't know how it jumps 2 spots, though. That's like, Rocketman just stays in a constant, like, middle.
Look.
That was my confusion. How does it go? Nope. But Rocketman is
I'm going to be real honest. The reason that happened is because I thought it would be very not dynamic for me to go straight from 22 to 21 Jump Street, and I wanted to make your show good.
Thanks. Your internet's doing that.
21 Jump Street. Take most of the stuff I said about 22 Jump Street, apply it here, and then just add a bit more. I think it's great. I think you set up these characters so perfectly with just the flashbacks where you see what they were like in high school and then like how they slowly become friends, and then it just cuts to later where they're like, it's like, we're gonna like prepare for a life of being complete badasses. Then it just cuts immediately to them just riding bikes in the park, helping kids get a frisbee and yelling at people not to feed the ducks. And it's like, yep, I know exactly what I'm in for here. It's great. And then you have that opening chase scene at the end when he doesn't know the Miranda rights, and then the scene where they're confronted about it. It's like, you have the right to be an attorney. It's like, you have the right to be an attorney. Like, it's great. Ice Cube is still fantastic in this one. Brie Larson, Dave Franco, Rob Riggle as the gym teacher is fantastic. And then just the role reversal where who they were in high school becomes the opposite, where I love it when they're like, high school has changed, what happened? And then they go, I know exactly what happened. It was Glee. I blame Glee for all of this. I'm like, it's just a great joke. Where like everything they thought they knew about high school is completely thrown out the window and everything changes. I think it's a really fun, like, it's still a high school movie despite the fact that they're adults undercover as cops. It's great, it's hilarious, and the cameo from Johnny Depp and the other guy from the show is fantastic.
Yeah, 21 Jump Street. This is the better one. I think it's great. I think the Miranda Wright scene is probably one of my favorite ones of the Toy Kids because they just let him go at her like.
You have the right to suck my dick.
You have the right to suck my dick. Just goes at it. Jonah Hill, and like honestly, that like if you sacrifice, like it's a little creepy. But I never knew Channing Tatum was as funny as he was until this movie. So yeah, great choice, 75. It could even be higher. I could understand higher.
Yeah.
Why do you guys hate comedy? I'm just curious. Why do you hate comedy? Tell me about it.
Yeah, look, I have no humor in my soul whatsoever. So a movie like this is coming absolutely nowhere near my list. That's my answer.
Barr, they perform a musical in the movie. How about now?
You have my interest.
It's Peter Pan.
Absolutely.
I like this movie, fine. I just couldn't decide between this and 22 Jump Street, so I didn't and put neither in my list.
And real
They
quick,
canceled each other out.
And real quick, I actually do really love this movie a lot. It's very funny. I think Lord and Miller are a very exciting duo in 20. Like, yeah.
Should have let them direct that Star Wars.
And Mike, did you go?
No. The entire subplot of the Peter Pan subplot in this movie is fucking incredible, including the middle of that subplot where he goes, "Pretend like you're sucking my dick." He goes, "No," and he tries to pull himself away off of him. It's fucking amazing. The stuff with like everything involved with Channing Tatum describing the different groups is amazing, especially when he gets to go, I don't know what the fuck those things are. It's a great fucking movie, except it does not have Wyatt Russell in this movie.
That's fair.
But it's still a great fucking movie.
But it has Johnny Simmons.
Yeah, it has Johnny Simmons, Billy and Willie. That's a great scene as well, when you see him just going through the stages of the drug.
All right, what's your 74, Cameron, while you're still here?
My 74, while I'm still here, I'm about to throw away all the goodwill I've built up to this point.
Oh, no.
74 is Now You See Me.
Interesting.
Yeah, cool. I'll say right now, hey Koho, take that graphic down, because I know for a fact. I know for a fact that you had it on your list for the summer series.
It's me. Koho. It's me. It was me.
Yeah, this, I understand that this is not a great movie. I understand that this movie makes no sense at points. But I'm a person who really likes magic. Not like fantasy Harry Potter magic, like card magic. I think it's cool. Deal with it. And this movie is just, hey, what if we made a heist movie where there's also card magic happening? And that's the whole plot of the movie. And I'm like, cool, I'm here for it. It's really fun. It's batshit insane. Like, it doesn't make any sense, and I fully admit that. Like truly, I can't describe this movie. Like, it's just fun. It's just cheese. It's just like, hey, we got a budget to do whatever we want it with. We're gonna have magicians, and they're gonna steal money from Michael Caine, and Morgan Freeman's gonna be there, and Mark Ruffalo is gonna frame Morgan Freeman for murder or something. And then it turns out that Mark Ruffalo is the secret fifth member of this team that he's trying to catch. Like, the twist at the end of this movie truly makes no sense, but it's so fun getting to that point. I love it. I understand that it's bad. Tear me to pieces. This is one of my Mike Hanley type picks.
I say I'm going to head out. I enjoy Now You See Me.
Yes!
Now You See Me is one of those cheesy effing movies. Would it make my top 100? Hell no. Let's not be stupid here. But it's fun. It's good. And I don't like Eisenberg, but I think the overall magic effect, the whole show, the robbing, I think it's a great idea. I think they pulled it off as well as they could. I don't think it's a great movie, but I don't think it's atrocious. I think the second one's not that great, but the first one is a good concept, good delivery, not a problem.
Yeah, the second.
I still think it's still funny from some people on this call that are giving so much shade and so much hate. Your movies shouldn't even been released on VHS, so I don't know what the hell you're all thinking. So go around. Now You See Me. Tell me what you think.
I don't even hate this movie, man. I think, like you said, it's funny, entertaining, and whatever. But when he was saying the movie was mediocre and so, but it had magicians. The thing about stealing people while doing a show is a great idea, but the Muppets did it better in Most Wanted.
I can't top that. But I will say that I had a big reaction, but mainly because I just was surprised to see this movie pop up on someone's 100 list. Because I haven't seen it all the way through, at least. The moments I've seen, I like. I didn't love, but yeah.
Mike, did you say anything?
Cameron, it's a great fucking movie, man. I love the shit out of this movie. It's so bad shit nuts. Woody Harrelson doing magic. I'm there all the way. It's a great fucking movie.
All right.
This is a very Woody Harrelson heavy episode.
It is.
Never too much Woody. All right.
Nazario, where do we leave off on you?
I think
I 74, so I only need to go 74.
Okay, go 74. And guys, let's speed up the process.
Okay. 74. I try to not repeat many directors as much as possible. It happens. It has to happen. So when I look at an indie director that I really liked when I was in high school and college called Todd Solondz, I decided to put Happiness as my 74. This is a very heavy film about sad and lonely, broken people. There are truly depraved things shown in this film that happen in real life just behind closed doors that would shock people horribly. This movie deals with rape, with molestation on a child, murder, and it's so fucking hilarious at the same time that it's inexplicable. It's like the darkest side of drama that you could get while making you laugh. It's a weird feeling, man. He has done this many times in other films, but I think this is the one he perfects that style. I actually haven't seen his latest 3 movies, which is I'm playing myself. I need to find time to look for indie movies. But I would say that this one actually navigates through razor and thin margins the acceptability of what you can see in a film perfectly. It's really hard to get it nowadays because it's not streaming anywhere, not that I know of. You can only buy the physical copy. So if you have a chance, I would really recommend it. Happiness from 1998 by Todd Solondz. Dylan Baker and Philip Seymour Hoffman are great in this movie.
So one of my friends, my admin, is watching along and put yikes, Happiness. I'll leave it there. Didn't sound like the movie what you were leading up to. I heard Happiness. I was like, cool. apparently were not happy in this movie at all. And I'm sorry, if you want people to watch it, leading with child molestation is probably not the best one to get me to go see it. I understand it happens. There's a lot of things that happen. Don't want to watch it.
Dude, but like I said, the way it's done, it's a great film.
I don't believe you're helping yourself on this because I don't care how it's done. Anybody else on happiness before we don't get cut off the air?
So I had heard about the ending of this movie before anything else about this movie, and hearing what I heard, I had no interest in watching this movie, so I haven't seen it.
I heard about this movie for the first time the other day when I saw Nazari Montenegro had logged it on Letterboxd, and I went, cool, that's a movie I'm not going to watch.
It is a very dark movie, but it's a great fucking movie. It's a very hard rewatch, though.
Thank you. Yeah, it's really hard to watch.
All right, I think we're on the top one. So, Barr, 73.
It's a yikes from earlier. It's Beetlejuice. This is Tim Burton at his best when it comes to comedy. I really enjoy the atmosphere and the world that is set up in this movie. I also really enjoy the performances. I think Gina Davis and Alec Baldwin have great chemistry with each other. And Michael Keaton is, he's nailing it in the short amount of time that he has. There's just a lot of great visual moments in this movie. It's an easy rewatch, and I enjoy the hell out of Beetlejuice.
Oh, Beetlejuice. Great movie. I thoroughly...
I had it at 83.
Okay, Nazario, go ahead.
It is a great movie. This is the first time they truly gave Tim Burton a budget and told him, like, you go do you. Because he did do Pee-wee first, Pee-wee's Big Adventure. But that was inside of the confines of what Paul Rubens had developed with the character. This was just, we think you have talent. We think you can do a great visual story. You go do you. And he gave us Beetlejuice. Michael Keaton is at the top of his game in this movie. He basically steals the movie. Even though he's the title character, he's only in it for a very short time compared to Gina Davis and Alec Baldwin, who are actually the main characters. But the inventiveness of the visuals, the world outside the house, the creatures that he developed, and even just the character of Beetlejuice is just off the wall. He has done better, but not much better than this movie.
Barr, am I now allowed to talk?
Proceed.
Thank you. Yes, I think this movie is fantastic. What is it? Oh, fuck. What's that song they sing in the movie?
Oh, the Banana Song.
Banana
Boat Song. Yeah.
That entire, dining room scene and stuff, I shouldn't like it, but Michael Keaton is the best. I even watched the TV show. The show was great, the cartoon. No, I think this is a great choice. No problem with Beetlejuice. It should make people's list. Why the hell didn't it make your two?
Okay. I love the shit out of this movie. It's right outside my top 100. The world that Tim Burton creates is incredible and nice fucking model. Hong Kong. Great fucking movie.
I like this movie. Personally, when it comes to Burton, I prefer his dramas. His comedies just don't necessarily hit for me that much. I love the aesthetic of this movie. I just, as an overall film, didn't love it the first time I saw it. So,
a gun for your daughter, Chuck.
Number. Thanks. Fantastic. That entire end scene killed me. Okay, what is Mike 73?
So you guys ready to crank this shit up to 11? I got George Romero's Dawn of the Dead. Do you guys like zombies in a mall? with blood that looks like paint, I do too. It's fucking amazing. You got Tom Savini as a biker kicking the ever-loving shit out of zombies nonstop. It's great. It's fun. It's George Romero's take on consumerism. If you haven't seen it, get this one. Fucking watch it. It's one of the greatest zombie movies ever made. The effects, the special effects, with the exception of the blood, are incredible. You got throats being ripped out. You got everything possible happening to zombies being destroyed in this movie. Ken Foree is incredible. Everything about this is amazing. It's a great fucking movie.
Dawn of the Dead. Again, I've already said this before. I'm a pussy when it comes to horror movies. I don't like watching them normally. I don't think this one's too scary. I just haven't seen it. Dawn of the Dead, Dawn of the Dead. That's the one based on the remake, right?
Yeah.
Right? I've seen the remake. I haven't seen the original. I think that's the problem with it.
The older one is a lot tamer than the Zack Snyder one.
Okay. Yeah, so it's on my list to watch these at some point again. But when it comes to horror, I just watch Tootsie. So yeah, it's struggle. Shut the fuck up. Because Dustin Hoffman. That's enough said. Best actor ever. No, I won't actually say that, but he's one of my favorites. Everybody on Dawn of the Dead.
I really like this movie. I think it's probably Romero's. It's neither this one. It's probably Romero's best movie. Probably technically, I would say this one. He was great when he made a movie every 10 years. Not so much when he started doing them every year. I don't know. I guess I have other genres that kind of squeezed a bit of horror out of my top 100, but this is definitely a worthy selection. Helicopter Zombie is one of the best deaths.
This is a very entertaining movie. I like this movie. It wouldn't come near my top 100, but I find it entertaining.
4 words, 5 syllables. I haven't seen it.
Fair. Use zombie movies against Holtzman if you play him next year in 2021.
Ironically, I'll tell you something ironic about this off screen.
Okay.
Barr knows exactly what I'm saying.
Okay. 73 for Holtzman.
Yeah, my number 73 is my second favorite movie of last year, 1917. Yeah, all right. I had a feeling I'd probably be the only one with this. I think this movie is... Actually, sorry, I don't think this is my second favorite. I think this might be my third. I don't know. I'm confused at this point. 1917. It's a great movie. I really like the genre of war movies. I think there's a lot going on there. And then this movie essentially takes the storytelling conventions of a play and puts them to the film. Like, the film is literally split into 2 acts. Everyone says, hey, it's that movie that looks like it's in one take. It doesn't. There's a very clear cut in the middle of it. But still, like, the cinematography and the editing of this movie is brilliant. I think it's beautiful. I think the story is fantastic. The acting performances from the 2 leads, George McKay and Dean Charles Chapman, are absolutely fantastic. It takes twists and turns. The scene where he's in the village that's just on fire in the middle of the night is beautiful because the light is just this massive burning building in the background and then flares being shot overhead that light it. And I think it's absolutely fantastic. I loved this movie. I think seeing it in the theater was one of the best, like, seeing it on the big screen movies I've seen in a while. I love this movie.
Yeah, I've said
we've
this
talked
before.
We've talked about this before.
Yeah, I've said this before. I think this is a technical achievement more than a movie for me because that's all I paid attention to. And I've watched it twice now and still I think it's fantastically shot. I just don't connect to the characters that much to make me like fully like they don't give me a lot because it's mostly that. I still think the run where the bombs are going off for him to deliver the news will go like when we look in 40, 50 years and they do like a montage of scenes, that one clearly I think will be featured. I think it's one of the most beautiful shots. I think the tracking's great. Again, I have to connect with a character. That's why I don't like Dunkirk. That's why I don't like this movie that much. That's why I don't like Mad Max as much. I don't connect to this. I don't connect. It's one giant thing. So I think it's good. I give it 4 out of 5 stars. I think it's a good movie. I just would not put it in my top 100. I don't think it's one of the best horror movies. But that's fine. Everybody on 1917.
So this is the one that's still in theaters now. Okay. I'm not gonna make some fun of the guy. It's a really good movie. Like Cody said, it's more like a technical exercise than anything else. It's obviously that for Sam Mendes, it was a personal story that he wanted to tell. He dedicated the film to a family. I think it's his grandfather or somebody from his family that actually was in the war. I put this movie in my top 20 last year. I didn't break my top 10 because of the same things that Cody says. Even though I do think I actually connect a little bit more with these characters than Dunkirk, because Dunkirk just keeps jumping around too many points of view for my personal taste. It still feels more of an exercise than a complete film. So it is really good, but I don't think it would make a top 100 for me.
Mike?
I'm basically with Cody and Nazario. I just don't have any connection with these. I couldn't connect with the characters, but it is a good fucking movie. It really is.
This is a movie I've seen like maybe 3 times now, and on each rewatch, it's actually dipped lower and lower and lower for me. It does not have good rewatchability in my opinion. I think, yes, technically it's an achievement, and that one scene that Cody talked about is fantastic, but then some things don't look as good as they did the first time, like the one airplane, as it's coming in to the barn, doesn't look as good as it did the first time. And there's a lot of conveniences in this movie that I just can't get behind. Like, him finding the milk and then finding the woman with the baby later. A lot of it just doesn't piece together well for me story-wise. So I understand, but it's not for me.
I understand, but you're wrong, Nazario.
73. Just like with Todd Solondz, another indie director that I really enjoy his early work. I know his later work is not that great. I already was told that he directed the Wicker Man remake, which I didn't know and never watched, by the way. Neil LaBute was a man that just wanted to study human desires or human needs, basically. And I was very undecided between 2 movies to put in this spot. It was between In the Company of Man and The Shape of Things, and I decided to put The Shape of Things. He called it. This movie posed the question to us if art has to be moral. And if it has or has not, who decides that? And even if we decide that you have to be moral to make art, then whose moral are you applying to it? The artist? The audience? It doesn't. It gives you an answer that the artist in the movie takes, but it doesn't mean it's the right one. For most people, it is fucking not the right one. The movie doesn't even reveal itself for what its true intentions are for most of its running time. I think it's based on a play he wrote because he actually writes plays that is great. I saw Fatso in theater and it was amazing. Oh. But the twist this movie takes in the last 20 minutes, it just takes the movie to another level because it turns the situation that was already stressful and awkward between the main characters and turns it up to 20. I don't want to spoil it to anyone who hasn't seen it, but when I saw it for the first time, I was in my 20s. It appalled me. It shocked me. I considered the character to be a horrible human being. And I still feel that way now that I'm almost 40, but it doesn't shock me as much. And I don't think that's a good thing about our society. Watch this movie, make your own opinion about what happens in it. To me, it's still awful. It's not excusable. But her question, I guess, is valid.
Makes me want to watch it. I haven't seen it. Barr, you kind of wrote it down. Have you seen it?
I have. I like this movie. I like the play better. It just kind of works better that way for me. And I saw it as a play first, so it may just be hitting me better because of that. But I think Eve is such a interesting but terrible person at the exact same time. God, she's kind of horrid. So I like the movie. I think, but to me, having seen it as a play first, I think it works better as a play. But it's still a good movie.
Mike?
I haven't seen it.
Cam?
I haven't seen it.
Fair. 72, Barr.
My number 72 is let's just get the yikes over with. It's Hot Fuzz.
Yikes.
Yeah, what a shocker.
Mike, what's 72?
72. Okay, so you guys know all the goodwill I've attained over the last couple of weeks. Well, that's going to be thrown out the window, lit on fire, and pissed on right now.
God, no. What is this?
You guys like airports? Do you like being quarantined in airports? And do you love Tom Hanks? Yes, you do. It's a criminal. I love the shit out of this movie. It's Victor Dvorsky. It's Tom Hanks stuck in an airport. I love the hell out of this. I love his journey through that airport of trying to survive. I love the scenes he has with Diego Luna. They're so funny, including the eat shit scene. It's amazing. And the B story between Diego Luna and Zoe Saldana is so sweet. I love the tale in Victor Dvorsky because I love the reason he's there. I'm not going to spoil the ending, even though the majority of the people have either seen it and crapped on it, or they don't want to see it. Either way, the ending is so amazing of why he's there. Stanley Tucci making him stay there, and all the ways that Tom Hanks fucks with him is funny as hell. It is The Terminal. Go ahead and shit on it. Fuck you guys. It's a great fucking movie.
Terminal's not good. It's not. I liked it when I grew up. Then I grew up. I realized it's not great. His accent's really bad. Yeah. I think it's actually the one Spielberg. No. Two Spielbergs that I will just never rewatch. How do you guys feel about The Terminal?
I haven't seen it. I'm just shocked that it's on someone's list. I've heard it's. I haven't heard that it's terrible, but I've heard it's not that good. So I'm just a little.
You need to pull more people.
I remember when I watched this movie in the theaters with my wife that we enjoyed it. It was a sweet movie that we never felt the need to watch again. So years later, I saw this horrible blowback. Like everybody hated it and crapped on it. I was like, really? I barely remembered it, but I thought it was fine. I guess.
Yeah. I got it fine. That's a fucking win for me right there.
I mean, I could just drive to the airport, sit there for 2 hours, and come back, and I'd at least get to have a nice drive and listen to music I like. So,
okay, Cam, give us your 72.
Yeah, my number 72 is a film called August Rush. August Rush is a movie that, if you want to feel good, this movie will make you feel good. It is just pure, like, hey, we're gonna give you just happiness at the end of this movie, and we're gonna fully build the happiness, and you know it's coming the entire time. And it works for me. It's about a young boy who is the child of two musicians and is given up for adoption and sent into foster care at birth against the mother's will. She's actually in a car crash and is sent into labor, and then her father puts the kid into foster care by forging her signature because he doesn't want her to throw her music career away for this kid. Then it follows this kid who can like see the music all around him. It's very cheesy, but he like starts to see and feel this music around him and follows it, essentially like believing that if he follows this he'll find his parents, and he ends up like meeting this. It's a very like smarmy, gross character played by Robin Williams to a degree, by the name of Wizard, who essentially like runs this. He like lives in an abandoned theater and has just like a bunch of homeless children who go and play music and bring back like the money they make on the streets for him, and that's what he does. And then August ends up like getting noticed and gets accepted into Juilliard. Like, it's insane. And Wizard keeps just being like claiming that this kid is actually his son when in reality he's not, and he's just trying to like get fame out of it. And then we also follow the estranged relationship between the two parents who like have never seen each other and happen their way back. The music in this movie is incredible. There's a scene where Jonathan Rhys-Meyers and Freddie Highmore, who plays August Rush, are just playing guitar together in the park, and the music of it is incredible. It's just a cheesy feel-good movie, and it works for me. August Rush.
So I haven't seen this movie, but it has Freddie Highmore as the one person I want to like punch in the face, and I don't know why. He just has a very punchable face to me.
I mean, he was a kid at that point. So.
Well, I'm not saying I'm going to punch him when he was a kid, but when I was growing up, when I was 13, I'd punch him, whatever. I think maybe it's from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, maybe, that I just want to punch, like, just headbutt him in the face. So I'll go check this out. It sounds interesting. As a person that's went through foster care with the kids I have now, it seems like something I might want to check out. So hats off to you for putting it, and if I hate it next week, I'll let you know. Nazario, Mike, Barr.
I remember seeing the trailers. I've looked it up. Hearing you describe it, though, is this movie Oliver Twist? It's very similar to Oliver Twist, now that I'm thinking about it. So, I haven't seen it yet, but I like the story of Oliver Twist, so...
I don't know if he's being an asshole or not, but hats off.
I like the Oliver Twist version that had the little cat with the dogs. That was great. I haven't seen this movie. I think my sister watched it. She enjoyed it very much. She recommended it to me. I ignored her because I don't like her taste usually. But I might try it now. If it's good enough to be 72, I mean, yeah, maybe. I'll check it out.
Mike?
This is a movie I first watched inside the video store, and it's such a sweet movie. Like, I watched it because I saw that Robin Williams was in it. Very random fucking role for Robin Williams, but it is such a good movie. It's so sweet. Like, I love those feel-good movies. It's right up my alley.
Nazario, give a 72.
Like I mentioned when I talk about Dogma, I really like movies that explore religion in different points of view, and especially Catholic religion, because that's what I grew up as. And this one is Martin Scorsese's The Last Temptation of Christ. There is a very, very short part of the Bible, just about Jesus is about to die, that he screams at God, "Why have you forsaken me?" And the next line, he says, "I leave my spirit in your hands." Basically, Martin Scorsese was curious why he had such a quick change of heart. And basically, he makes a movie that explores this for over an hour. It's very, very faithful to the Bible up to that point, with small changes here and there, trying to be a little more interesting than the basic story. But basically, when Jesus feels that God forsake him, then the devil appears as a girl and says, "Why are you doing the cross? You don't have to do this. You can choose not to." So he chooses not to, and he goes down on the cross, and he just lives the rest of his life. He gets married to Mary Magdalene, like everybody in history says that he wanted to. He has children, and then he grows up to be an old man, and then he regrets that he didn't make the tough choice. He thinks he didn't earn what he was supposed to earn. It's very interesting from a theological point of view, and the way he made the movie, it also it puts Jesus as a human. Willem Dafoe plays him. I think it's the first time you can actually see him as a human more than a saint, which actually I enjoy very much because I need to connect to Jesus as part of my my religion belief, because I need to believe he was a man. He was not perfect, that he also felt desires as other men do. So we have something in common, because if he's just perfect, then that's not a man. It's a great film. You should all watch it.
No, I absolutely love this movie. Take it for what you want. I think it's one of Scorsese's most underrated, one of his most underrated movies. It does not go. When you bring up Scorsese, I don't think this is in the first 10 that anybody brings up, and it honestly should be. I really like it a lot. Well done, Nazario. 72 is fine. Everybody else on this one, have you seen it?
Not yet.
Shorter, not that yet. You're getting better.
I watched this for school, actually, for university, in my Introduction to Christianity course, which was a weird pick. Yeah, no, it was weird. I don't know how I feel about this movie. Because, like I'm also a religious person, and the way it portrays it, I'm just like, I don't know how I feel about this. I think it's well made, but I just don't know how I feel about it.
That's fair.
I'm not a religious person, but I love this movie. It is a great fucking movie.
This movie was banned in my country for over 25 years. So when I first saw it, it was a bootleg that a professor in college actually got for me. They lifted the ban when The Passion of the Christ came out. I guess it changed people's opinion on it or something.
Barr, 71. Close out the show.
My 71 is one of my favorite sci-fi films from the 80s. It is The Terminator. All right, cool. So this is my favorite Terminator film. I actually like this better than T2. I know some people like T2 better, but I think they're wrong. This movie, it's so intense and it's unnerving in like the best like 80s way possible. Like the dance club scene, that's a great scene right there. But also, I think that the effects in this movie are so impressive, and I think they hold up really well. Even when you know that they're there, they're still really impressive. I really like the non-stop, unstoppable force that the T-800 is. And just, like, even when he doesn't know which Sarah Connor to go for, he's just like, fuck it, I'm going to kill them all. It's such an interesting horror film of a really unique boogeyman. And I think it's really impressive and really entertaining to watch The Terminator.
Yeah, this is the one that I always say is it's Terminator and Terminator 2. It's Alien and Aliens. It's basically you have the camp that think Terminate. No, shut up. 3 shouldn't exist. You either love the first one more than the second one. You think the second one ruined the first one. Blah blah. There's like this mixed camp. I'm more in the camp of T2. I love T2. I think T2 is probably top 5 action movie of all time. But T1 is like almost one of the greatest thrillers that's ever been. That scene where she's on the phone and he finds out where she's at in the bar and she shows up. That scene is so sweet. I love Terminator. I think these two, everybody, I'll tell you, I don't watch any of the other ones. I won't watch any of the other ones. It stops at 2, and I'm fine with 2.
There's more?
They say. It's like the Rocky versus Creed, the third fight. No one knows what happens. So good choice. Everybody else.
I actually really like the first one. I think originality, it shows up better in the first one than the second one, although I think because it was the basic original story. I like it better, and I like the fact that he fights a man a little more than the machine on machine thing from the second one. There's a great TV series you should watch too. You know.
I love this movie. It's an amazing thriller. Michael Biehn is incredible in this. It is a great fucking movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know I've seen it. I don't remember it super well. I remember thinking it was good, but clearly I did not fall in love with it.
It's a weird movie to forget, man.
I was gonna respond with "That's okay," but I'm not. That's disrespectful. Mike, what's your 71?
So you guys know how I talked about punk rockers and zombies? Well, this has none of that. It is Dazed and Confused. I love the shit out of this.
No one
movie.
else has Dazed and Confused?
I didn't think they would. I did not think they would with this group. This is one of the best high school movies ever. I love the shit out of this. I love movies about just a group of characters hanging out together. There's going to be more that show up on my list. It's such a great concept to just have it about the last day of high school and the last day of junior high, and have characters that, like, with the exception of the paddling, this is what I wished high school kind of was like when I got in there. Like the whole paddling shit. This is what I wished. Matthew McConaughey, holy fuck, is just amazing in that role. He's iconic for a reason because of that role. I love Adam Goldberg and his little group together. Their conversations about having sex with a head of Lincoln is amazing. You got so many great little tidbits here, so many great conversations throughout, talking about Washington, George Washington, and the dollar bill. Everything about this is just fun, and it's just a movie that you go into it going, nothing bad's going to happen here. This is just a fun fucking ride that you're taking. The soundtrack is incredible. I've listened to that soundtrack so many fucking times. It is a great fucking movie.
Yeah. Linklater, I like it. I love Everybody Wants Some. I think Everybody Wants Some is my favorite of the two. But Dazed and Confused is an amazing freaking movie. I understand it didn't age well. Shut up. I still love this movie. I think it's a fantastic movie. I'm with Mike. I know what other ones he's going to bring up. The group of characters just talking. This is when it's done right. I really enjoy this. Dazed and Confused fucking rocks. Go ahead, guys. Tell me why Dazed and Confused is just not on your list.
All right, I guess I'm going to start. I'm going to say what I said the last time this movie came up on your list sucks that I was on. I've never seen it all the way through. I have tried multiple times.
I'll try harder, goddammit.
Yeah, it just doesn't click with me the same way that it does with other people, and I think Kirk Kowalkowski said it, and if it was him, he said it best. When the statutory rapist is your best character, there is a problem.
That's not true at all.
No.
I've seen this movie a couple times.
Oh, you go first? You go first.
Okay. I've seen this movie a couple times. I think the biggest thing is that, like Mike was saying, like it kind of reminds him of high school. It's like it's what he wishes high school was like. And I think like I graduated from high school like a year and a half, 2 years ago. So there's more modern high school movies that capture the high school experience to me more. And so this, I just don't relate to it as much. That's my big thing.
This movie came out when I was in high school, and I remember enjoying it when it came out. I don't remember most of it because I haven't rewatched in a long time. But when I was decided that Linklater was probably going to be in my top 100, I checked his movies and his filmography, and for the reasons listed, maybe if I should rewatch it, maybe it jumps up. But I have a bunch of other movies that I prefer from him to this. So that edged it out. I think I've talked about this with Mike before. I should probably rewatch this movie because Everybody seems to like it very much.
Yep. Cam.
Thinking what I'm thinking. Aim for the bushes. The Other Guys is my 71. I think this movie's great. I see Cody roll in his eyes. I think just the first act of this movie, or not even the first act, just like the opening of this movie where it's oh my gosh, Samuel L. Jackson and The Rock is fantastic. It's just like the most over the top comedy like cop movie. Did somebody dial 911? Holy shit, when he just crashes the car through the side of a bus and they aim for the bushes and then you just see them hit the ground and then it immediately just quick cuts to their funeral and it's just the pouring rain and they're all in the uniforms. I think it's great. And then like Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell like just hit it out of the park for me in this movie. I think it's great. I think there's so many jokes that just hit really well. Like when they're walking towards the building and it explodes and they just start yelling about how Star Wars isn't factually accurate because they heard the explosion. And it's like, when they blew up the Death Star, they would have all gone deaf. And it's like, don't you badmouth Star Wars. I think just the ongoing joke of like every time their car gets stolen and Alan continues just like, it's like, we're taking away your gun, you get this gun made of wood. We're taking away your wooden gun, here's a whistle. If someone attacks you, blow it, and someone with a gun will come and they will help you. Like, it's just a great joke. The Mark Wahlberg learning how to do all of these things ironically just to make fun of people, and it's like, he learned to play the harp beautifully, like, he learned to do ballet just to make fun of kids in high school. I think it's great. I love it, and the action is also fantastic. I love this movie.
It's really fucking weird that you pitch this as a comedy when there's fucking dumbass jokes the entire way. I hate this movie. I absolutely hate this movie. I think it is one of the worst comedies out there. I really do. It was the decline of Will Ferrell. I think Samuel L. Jackson and the Rock are awful in this movie. I find them so annoying and so just blah. And Will Ferrell just, I don't know. It's just, I don't laugh. I don't laugh. I've watched it 3 times and I just don't laugh at all. I'm ready for it to end. I think it's bad. And I don't understand the whole love for it. I wish I could see it because Will Ferrell's comedy, like Anchorman, even Talladega Nights, peak. Step Brothers, peak for me. This one, boom! Gator don't need take no shit. Well, fucking Gator needs to retire. Anything else for you guys? And there was a terrible team name with it.
Hey, one half of that team is great.
I actually think
I like the one person. Go ahead.
I actually think this movie is pretty funny. Pretty funny, not greatly funny. It's a comedy that I have watched a couple of times and I enjoyed it. The School of Tuna versus the Lion thing is actually pretty funny. And I said it again, and I said it before, I said it again, man. This is no fucking Catalina wine mixer, though.
I don't hate this movie. There's a few things I like about it. I'm a peacock. You gotta let me fly. But if you're gonna put it on your list, it's got to be at 100, not 71. But this is your list, so
means it's wrong.
Yes. I was getting to that, Cody. Thank you.
Just the point. It's just the point of the show. Go ahead.
Mike, do you like The Other Guys?
The Other Guys, okay, I've already said in a previous episode, I'm not a huge fan of Will Ferrell, and other than Fear, I'm not really a huge fan of Mark Wahlberg, so everything was against me. Like, that was the only movie I've ever liked with fucking Mark Wahlberg in it, and Elf is really the only one that I enjoy with Will Ferrell, so I can't
I'm sorry, sir. Have you ever seen a movie called The Departed?
Okay, Departed I like, but I don't really care. Like, it's not him that I enjoy in it. It's everyone else.
Cody, we'll get to it later.
This is
Don't
not
worry.
a safe space anymore. Nazario, please close this out.
My number 71 is another movie that deals with religious ideas, but in a different way. It's suggested as a horror movie. I think it's more of a thriller. It's Bill Paxton's directorial debut, Frailty. This is a very basic story about a single dad raising two kids. And one day, he just wakes them up in the middle of the night and tells them, I just got a message from God. There are demons among us, and we have to take them out. He will give me 3 weapons, and we will end these demons. Imagine telling that to a teenager and a 10-year-old kid. And this is not an abusive parent. He's an honest-to-God believer that is a good parent in most other ways, and he just really believes he's talking to God. And one night, he shows up with an axe named Otis, a couple of gloves, and a lead pipe, and he says, this is what we're going to use to banish demons from the earth. And it explores the movie from the point of view of the older kid that doesn't really know if his dad has gone insane. And it's played, the one narrating the story, one of the grown-up kids, is actually Matthew McConaughey in a really, really good role, mostly talking to Powers Good during the whole movie. And Bill Paxton, as also the director, he plays the dad. And the best thing I think this movie does is that it shows us, it's filmed in a way that, yes, the dad is making his kids do horrible things, but it doesn't really tell you if he's insane or not. There's a shot in the movie that kind of leans one way, and there is a definite thing in the end of the movie with Matthew McConaughey that just says, this is where I stand. But that is that kid. And what he is seeing, it's filtered through the eyes of his lost innocence. It's thrilling, it's exciting, it's interesting as hell. And I think for the most part, it works both ways. Because he could just be a schizophrenic person that wasn't diagnosed, or he may have as well been talking to God. If you haven't seen this movie, check it out. It's from 2002, and it's really, really worth it.
Man, I didn't even know this movie existed. I'm going to be honest with you. It sounds super interesting, though. So I definitely want to check it out. Anybody else on this list before we close it out for the night seen this movie?
No.
I knew it existed.
Yeah, that.
I got to meet Bill Paxton at one point, and I told him there were 2 movies from his that I absolutely fucking loved. This one and one other one I'll be talking about later on. I love the shit out of this movie. This is an amazing fucking movie. This was on my list, and I took it off. But it's an incredible fucking movie. I loved it. I loved it to pieces.
Well, I wonder what Bill Paxton would have said if you would have took that off for Re-Animator. But okay. Okay, guys. We wrapped for the show. This is a longer episode. Hopefully next episode we won't have internet problems and we'll learn what quick means.
3-hour episode.
Top 50s. Okay, guys. So the ones yikes. Hold on. Barr's list for this week was Terminator, Hot Fuzz, Beetlejuice. Pretty good list. There's some on there I want to ever watch, but overall good. The Disney one's still a yikes for me. I don't know how I feel about that. Mike Hanley's Dazed and Confused leads it off. He's had some weird ones. He picked it up a little bit near the end, then he hit Terminal. Hope he's never stuck in an airport, but he probably should. Cameron finished the night rough, started off strong. So that's basically what that means.
So good till I hit the
and
other guy.
Nazario pretty much had the ones that I need to watch. He had most of them I had to watch, besides Happiness. That's not happy. That's sad. All right, so these are the movies coming up soon. It's growing and evening out. Next week should be a very interesting week. Join us next week when we go through 70 through 61.
Drive on safe.
Well, I'm funny how? I mean, funny like I'm a clown. I amuse you.
You have part of my attention. You have the minimum amount.
I'm the guy who does his job. You must be the other guy.
You got a lot of problems, don't you?
Oh, it's good to be back.
Eat shit. Eat shit. Eat shit.
Smug smile.
Definitely eat shit.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore.
You can't handle the truth.